spoilers, you better split. Welcome to Nerdist News. Oh my god, I just got it. I just now got it. Yeah. All right. Of all the shocking twists director M. Night Shyamalan has given us over the years, his new movie, Split, might have given us the most shocking twist of all, a friggin' comeback! That is right, after a disappointing decade spent last airbending and after-earthing, Shyamalan has returned with a genuine hit. Split just finished its second week in a row at the top of the box office, putting it only a few days away from crossing the $100 million line. Super impressive for a thriller that cost less than $10 million to produce, released in the dredges of early January, especially from a guy whose career everyone thought was deader than Bruce Willis at the end of Sixth Sense. Oops! Spoilers for any of you watching this in 1999.
Hey!
That's enough time, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, you ruined this for me by 2 weeks. But as for slightly more current spoilers, there's no denying that Split's continued stay at the top of the box office is thanks in part to the buzz it's been generating from its surprise ending. And if you don't want to know about that surprise ending, now would be a great time to turn away. Okay, peace. Bye, guys. No, just kidding. All right, so now that the kids are out of the room, as we all know from last week's lesson, Split is actually an undercover sequel to one of Shyamalan's most beloved films, the working-class superhero saga Unbreakable. But really, how much of a secret is it? Was Split's sequel status obvious to anyone who was really paying attention? Well, not really. For most of the film, Shyamalan is focused on telling the story of Kevin Wendell Crumb and his 24 warring personalities. He even said in interviews he didn't want the Unbreakable illusions to overshadow the main plot, so any hints about it were kept very, very slight. But they were still there, and going back, they became a whole lot more obvious upon a second viewing, starting with the very titles of the films themselves, Split and Unbreakable, are direct opposites of each other. Maybe it didn't stick out because no one really had Unbreakable on the mind these days, but if Split had been a direct follow-up to Unbreakable, chances are the title would have raised a few more eyebrows. Plus, the movie's titles weren't the only way to guess the connection without actually going to see it. Their posters also give it away. Both the Unbreakable poster and the Split poster feature a shattered glass motif, and if you put the posters side by side, you'll see the glass cracks in each actually line up. Holy crap! Should we be doing this with all movie posters now? Someone get me the A Dog's Purpose poster and the Marley and Me poster. I have to know if all dog movies take place in the same universe. That would be, what if we were being trolled this whole time by dog movies? Oh my god. Anyways, as for hints in the actual film, there aren't a ton, but they are there, and one of them is actually kind of glaring. Throughout the film, we're told that Kevin is special because he's broken, and in the end, that brokenness is what gives him the power to transform into the Horde. Now, a dude who gets his power from his brokenness sure seems like the ideal ideological counterpoint, and maybe even arch nemesis for a dude whose superpower is being, say it with me guys, unbreakable. There's even an argument to be made that Kevin and Mr. Glass, the supervillain played by Samuel L. Jackson in Unbreakable, act as a counterpoint to each other. Glass is a man with a brilliant mind but a physically deteriorated body, and Kevin is a man with a shattered mind but a physically evolved body, and together, they're going to make a pretty formidable rogues gallery for David Dunn when Unbreakable 2 starts shooting. And while we're talking about David Dunn, there are also a few parallels you can pull out between him and Kevin. For one thing, both of their names are beholden to old-school comic book naming cliches. 15 years ago, when Unbreakable came out, Shyamalan said he named the character David Dunn because so many of his favorite superheroes had names that were alliterative. Clark Kent, Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Scott Summers, the list goes on. And sure enough, Kevin Crumb fits into the pattern. But even more interesting is the link between their origins. David discovers he's unbreakable after being the sole survivor of a horrific accident. Kevin Wendell Crumb transforms into the Beast at the site of a traumatic childhood experience. The connection? Both of them take place on trains. Now, David's origin moment was a big, spectacular train wreck, while Kevin's was in an empty, unmoving car. But the connection is clear. Both of these guys developed their super identities by overcoming trauma. David's was physical and Kevin's was mental, which makes sense for each of their respective characters. But, like all the best superhero/villain combos throughout history, their origins act as reflections of each other. Of course, these small connections are gonna get much bigger. Shyamalan has said he for sure wants to make a sequel that will have Unbreakable Unbreakable and The Horde going toe-to-toe, and with Split's continued success at the box office, it's hard to imagine it won't come to pass very soon. But until then, let us know if there are even more Easter eggs that we may have missed, and how excited are you guys for the unavoidable Shyamalan Vengers Twistfinity Wars? And do A Dog's Purpose and Marley and Me take place in the same universe? I mean, both universes have dogs. It makes total sense. Anyway, let's discuss.
Ooh, that was rough.
Oh my God. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you know when we are live every day at 1 p.m. PST right here on YouTube and Facebook for Nerdist News Talks Back. Hop in chat and join our discussion of the day's biggest stories. It's me and Team Nerdist, totally unfiltered and unpredictable. Plus, we also have cool news stories. Like and subscribe and keep checking Nerdist.com.